Good morning. My name is Mike Powers. I have the honor and the privilege of serving the city on 3 different planning commissions. I'd like to take a little time and explain some of them to you. I'm going to explain all of them to you. In the fall of 2008, a good friend of mine, Dick Grassel, stopped by the house one day and told me of an upcoming vacancy on the East Grand Forks Planning and Zoning Committee. We visited again, and I was appointed by Mayor then Lynn Stouse. My first meeting was in January of 2009. I'm still on the board, and I was elected chair in 2015. The Planning Commission in East Grand Forks consists of 7 members of the city who voluntarily provide public input to questions regarding building projects that differ significantly from the city code. In addition, we also weigh in on new and revised plot applications, proposed changes, amendments, rules, regulations to current building code and zoning ordinance, and new and special use permits within the various zoning districts. All building projects in the city require a permit. If you don't get the permit and you start, you may have some problems after the fact. Another issue that is very common is that you don't get a permit at all. Of the 3 commissions that I serve on, I think this is the least hassle, and I think basically it's due to Nancy Ellis in her office. She's got her thumb on it very good. The next planning commission is the MPO, which stands for Metropolitan Planning Organization. The MPO is comprised of 1 county commissioner from Polk County and Grand Forks County, 2 members of each respective city councils, and 1 member from each planning and zoning committee. I'm on the planning and zoning for East Grand Forks, and I represent the city on the MPO. What the MPO does is provide a forum for public officials, citizens, and other interest groups to establish policies, plans, and effectively deal with various metropolitan issues. It also gives technical assistance to planning to complete studies that identify solutions common to metropolitan problems. Examples: development assistance within the community, intergovernmental coordination, and wide area transportation and transit planning. The current work on the bridges is a classic example. Several years ago, we started looking at the Sorley for possible replacement because of its age. And when all the engineering studies were done, we more or less gave it a good paint job, and that was it. The Kennedy, on the other hand, is getting a whole new deck on the top. And we're going to have pedestrian access as well as bicycle. The MPO is led by Executive Director Earl Haugen. The next one, Planning Commission, is Polk County. Polk County is made up, the commission is made up of 1 county commissioner, 1 from each commissioner districts, of which there are 5, 1 for Polk County Officers Association, 1 from the Maple Lake Improvement District, 1 from Union Lake Sarah Improvement, 1 from the Mayor's Office in Crookston, and 1 from the Mayor's Office in East Grand Forks. That's me. We meet monthly to hold public hearings on applications for a conditional use permit, review planned unit development, and plans for subdivision of lands. The most common is the conditional use permit referred to as a CUP. Key considerations in issuing a CUP are: number 1, the proposed use is a conditional use expressly designated within the county ordinance. Number 2, The conditional use permit will not be injurious to use, enjoyment, and other properties if within the immediate vicinity, and it will not diminish property values within the immediate vicinity. Part of the Polk County Commission is Board of Adjustment. Going back to the CUP, the third consideration is it will not impede the normal and orderly development of surrounding vacant properties. Number 4, adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been provided or will be. Adequate off-street parking have been or will be provided. Number 6, adequate measures have been or will be taken to prevent odor control, noise, fumes, dust, and vibration. Almost all conditional use permits have staff recommendations from the Polk County Planning Zone. Those recommendations are part of the permit. All conditional use permits are forwarded to the Office of the County Commissioners, and those gentlemen and ladies make the final approval. Now, the Board of Adjustment. The Board of Adjustment is another part of the Polk County Planning Commission. There's 5 people from the Planning Commission to meet to grant or not a variance. A variance, according to the statute, may be granted only when it is in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning ordinance and where strict enforcement of the county ordinance would result in a practical difficulty. Practical difficulty is the key. To determine a practical difficulty, we consider the following criteria, again established by Minnesota statute. Number 1, the property owner proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner. Very important. Not permitted by the official control. Number 2, the plight of the owner is due to circumstances unique to the property and not created by the landowner. An example of this would be an irregular shoreline on a lake lot. If granted, the variance would not alter the essential character of the locality. And number 4, economic consideration alone does not constitute a practical difficulty. The Board of Adjustments, our decisions are final. There's no recourse other than district court. Far and above the decisions that we render on this, a Board of Adjustments are the most difficult. Over the years, I have learned several things. Number 1, I listen real careful. I try to be analytical in my thought process, and I try to be fair. Some time ago at a fire marshal's school in Dallas, Texas, I met a fellow by the name of Norman Schwarzkopf, and when I got home I read his book. And one of the guiding principles in his life was do the right thing. I want to thank Dick Grassel, Warren Strandell, Lynn Staus, and especially Mayor Steve Gander. I wear this shirt with pride and a statement. And when I walk into a planning meeting, especially in Crookston, they knew where I'm from and who I represent. Thank you.